Hi, this is Kristen Kearns-Wheeler, and this is my application video for the TRP project. On the first night at the conference in DC in November, I was really moved by Allison Robinson's speech and a lot of other people getting up and speaking and their faith walk and what they've gone through as LGBTQ members of a Christian church. The other thing that really moved me and inspired me to want to apply is that I sat behind Jane Clementi the first night. She introduced herself when we were sitting down, waiting for the service to start, and she mentioned that she'd had a son that had died. She didn't say, my son committed suicide because he was bullied. My husband and I were like, Jane Clementi, wow, Clementi, that name sounds sort of familiar. What? So we sat there and, age of smartphones, my husband pulled his phone out, Googles her, realizes that it's her son who jumped off the bridge in New York City, and it was the big bullying trial for his roommate at Rutgers. And to know that she was there at this project, at this conference, to speak out, and that she'd started a foundation in her son's name to help prevent bullying of LGBTQ people was just inspiring to me. And, I was fortunate enough to get to speak to her afterwards, and I said, hey, I didn't realize who you were when we first sat down and you introduced yourself. But I remember hearing your son's story on NPR and, hearing about the trial and the aftermath of the trial. And her response was like, you've heard of my son? And I said, yeah, we weren't living here at the time, but yes, we heard about it. We heard about it here. It's, I think it was great that she was there. The whole weekend, all the panels, all the caucuses, talking to the people and going to people, it was amazing to me. And, for the last month, I've been thinking about this application and this video. And the one thing that keeps coming back to me is that, first off, I'm the parent of a special needs child. My son is autistic. He's not normal. There's just no way around that. He's different than other people, and so a lot of other people in normal, typical society. But I do think that has made me a lot more open and accepting of people. And I do understand he gets a lot of looks sometimes and some comments. I've had some very ugly comments said to me about his behaviors when we're out in public, especially if he's upset about something. And I'm like, we're trying. And it has taught me so much patience and acceptance. And then I talk to people who can't go home or aren't out to their families. And I'm like, how could a parent turn a child away? And I do realize it's possible. I have friends who are single parents of special needs kids because their partner couldn't deal with having a kid that wasn't normal, typical, their usual, didn't fit in normal society. But it's also taught me that there's no such thing as normal or typical. There's the average, and that's it. My other thought is the song that keeps going through my head, and I won't sing it because you don't want to hear me sing, is they'll know we are Christians by our love. And I just look at these people, these churches who are not affirming, and go, how can you proclaim to be a Christian and knowing that one of the greatest commandments is love one another, but yet you want to not love people who are different than you? I was really moved by the number of LGBT people and parents of LGBT at the conference who thanked me for coming for being a straight ally. And I was like, well, yeah, I have friends who are LGBT. Why wouldn't I come and support them and learn ways to support them better? And that's what I hope to get out of this, is to be able to help more people. I've been sort of searching on what God wants me to do as outreach, and I think this is it. I'm not called to be a preacher, but I do think our actions can preach